David. Well, thank you very much indeed for your company on this very fine Saturday morning. Lots of messages coming in. This one is from Namron. He says, come clean, David. Clearly you must have a room at TalkTV. Yes, I do seem to live here. I think that is a very good point. Actually, I wasn't here yesterday, and I had what do they call those? Oh, yes, a day off. And I felt really ill, actually, as a result. So obviously I'm better when I'm here. Thank you for that. And then also Tavares Rock says, David, great conversation on mental health that we did at the beginning of the show. Well done. It wasn't COVID that did the damage. It was lockdowns. So thank you very much indeed. Julian Drucker joins us to do the paper review. Let's move now to, what's that man called? The leader of, what is it? The opposition, Keir Starmer.
Unlike you, Sir Keir Starmer has had a holiday, and
clearly.
Yes, he is pictured in the Sun. It says, what cost of living crisis, channeling their famous headline from the 70s about Jim Callaghan. He's back in the UK now, but he was pictured tucking into tapas. This was, where was he? He was in
Mallorca.
He was in Mallorca, but he's now back.
Well, no, the reason I know it's Mallorca was I was doing a show last week.
Yes.
And our viewers messaged us from Mallorca saying, here's a picture of him, because I'm in the same hotel. Yeah.
Everybody deserves a holiday, but it can be, people might say he hasn't really been visible this summer. Rachel Reeves should perhaps be, one of the most famous women in the country, shouldn't she? Obviously, she should be combating what's being said from the Treasury.
Instead, it's the Labour Party.
Well, exactly. Martin Lewis is perhaps the leader of the opposition at the moment instead. And then Sir Keir appeared in Edinburgh last night. He was interviewed by someone wearing, Keir is sort of dressed a bit like Paul Weller. I don't know if you've seen what he was wearing, sort of mod type outfit. I've never seen him wearing that sort of thing. Some people say he perhaps tried to channel Andy Burnham or Liam Gallagher, but he's clearly sort of rebranding. So we're seeing him a little bit, but we're not hearing it. It's his polo shirt, and then he's sort of trainers and jeans, but I don't know,
he's the leader of the opposition.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't see many 59-year-old men wearing that. It's bold. He's never worn that before. I've never seen him wearing that. But yeah, we're just not hearing from him. It's being argued.
Also, they have a lack of policy. Labour's energy policy saves families £84, apparently.
Yeah.
So I do wonder where the Labour Party is. Where is the government? Why have we got this self-indulgent Tory leadership race going on at a time of national crisis? People can't eat. They can't afford to fill up their cars. I think it's pretty disgraceful.
Sir Keir would probably think, 2 years from an election, what is the point? The Tories are pulling themselves apart. I don't need to say anything. But this would be the time. August is always the time to come on the airwaves. And, any outlet will have him on to do interviews. It's quite hard to get him at the moment.
No, it's absolutely right. And also, I know from my own experience that this is the time you put in plans for the election. It takes 2 years to build your campaign. So I would suggest to him he needs to up his game.
Yes, could be argued that, yes.
Yeah. I'm talking of upping their game. Dominic Raab.
Interesting, he's in the Times today. He had an August last year was really bad for him with the Afghanistan thing, and he was on the beach. August this year is unlucky for him because he is chained to the Rishi Sunak campaign. He is one of the few people still backing Rishi, and he says, Rishi didn't stab Boris, and he actually talks about Liz Truss, and he talks about her Fizz for Liz dinners. It's been going on for the last few years. This is where she's met people in the party, and he's saying, she has been doing groundwork for years. Rishi wasn't doing that. Rishi was getting on with his job. So it's actually Liz Truss who is the sort of Machiavellian one.
But that is only to be expected.
Absolutely, yes.
To build the support base, isn't it?
Yeah, she'd been touted as a future leader for a long time. People saw Liz Truss as one day she could be Prime Minister. Not everyone might have agreed with that, but it's totally reasonable that she would have put those plans in place for the future. If you're an ambitious person.
It is extraordinary, isn't it? The fact is, I just think it's becoming so personal now between these two camps. But obviously, and Dominic Raab, where has he been?
Exactly.
Boris Johnson was on holiday. I thought Raab should have been around.
Exactly. And also you're wondering what will he do if Liz Truss gets in. She doesn't necessarily get on with him. There was talk of Sajid Javid quitting politics for the next election. He denied that a few days ago. And also with Rishi, is he going to be the David Miliband of the Tory party? You could imagine him perhaps quitting in a couple of years, getting a job with the IMF in New York or whatever. So lots of people will be perhaps leaving politics.
That's a very good parallel.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He's clearly not going to we don't know with the polling. It suggests he's not going to win.
Well, so what I would say to you is that we think there are 150,000 members. We know, or pretty much know, that the older ones would have sent their votes back already.
Yes.
We also know that if you look at the Conservative odds checker, Liz Truss is on 88%. So unless it is wildly wrong, and also commentators like John Rentoul spoke to me and said, this is in the bag for Liz. This was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So I think he's in trouble.
People like Robert Buckland switching sides. I mean, he's been on with you several times.
He
and
has.
he's-
I mean, and the extraordinary thing, here on Weekend Breakfast, he came on this show and basically said, oh no, I'm definitely backing Rishi Sunak, and these are the reasons why, and today he switches. So they don't have much principle.
How embarrassing for Rishi. I mean, there's hardly anyone left apart from Rob. I don't even count who's left.
Oh dear. Yeah, well, it does seem a little bit like a sinking ship, but maybe he will be victorious.
Maybe we will see in 23 days' time.
Is that it? It's
Yes.
still got 23 days?
Yes, yeah. I thought it was only 2 weeks, but it's 3 weeks and a bit. Amazing.
Yeah, September the 5th is,
Yes.
Is the announcement of that
Correct,
result.
yeah.
And my other favourite politician, Nicola Sturgeon.
Yes, so sort of talking life after politics, she's done an interview in the Guardian magazine, and she says, she reminds us that she's just 52, very young for
She
a
is very
politician. And she said, and this hasn't really been picked up actually much today, she says, whenever I do stop being First Minister, I'm still going to be relatively young. This would not always have been true of me, but a life after politics doesn't faze me. One wonders what she's going to do next. Is this the final lap for Nicola Sturgeon?
What do you think?
Well, she doesn't give that much away in this interview, but clearly she is jostling for life after politics. Could she do, could she appear on stations like this? She could appear on Strictly, yes.
Yeah.
She could do. I mean,
Appear on where were you going to say?
on stations, she could have a show on the station, maybe.
I see where you're going with that, right?
Phone it. And she's on the front of this magazine, sort of like a fashion shoot. She spoke about how Liz Truss had had a conversation previously with her about getting into.
What did you think of that? Because she basically said that Liz Truss had asked her for sartorial advice on how to get on the front cover of these Vogue, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was Vogue, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
she
Vogue.
broke the girl code. You're not supposed to admit the sort of
Exactly.
conversations you have with your friends or foes. I'm not sure it was a great moment for her.
I just wonder, Candice, what you think about where Nicola Sturgeon is. I mean, I have very strong views about her. For me, she is a one-trick pony. She seems to have ignored the fact that Scotland's policies are failing. They've got terrible drug deaths. They've got terrible hospitals. And of course, all she wants to do is talk about independence.
Yeah, she's obsessed with it. That's to the exclusion of all else, absolutely. I don't know what she'll do after politics. I mean, some choose to amass huge libraries, very lucrative speaking careers. We'll see what happens. Nicola Sturgeon, there's not an obvious thing that you can
No,
think
I
she'd
know
be
what she'll do.
doing.
She'll go to the EU.
You're right, actually.
Won't she?
Yes, of course.
I've just suddenly twigged.
Yes.
She'll go for EU commissioner role or
There's
something.
something like
Or
that.
something.
Yes, something international like that. Yeah, absolutely.
And she
yeah.
loves the EU. I mean, I
Yes.
couldn't wait to get out.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to get out, to be honest. And any thoughts where she may go?
She doesn't really give an indication. I mean, Liz Truss obviously said that Nicola Sturgeon should be ignored, didn't she, recently?
She did.
But,
I mean, that was tricky because she said it in a hustings, and this is
Yes.
my problem with those. They are designed to talk to the members in that room, and they're not really meant for a wider audience. So it's becoming very difficult now because obviously any politician would go to a local audience and actually say, something that is local or funny or a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
But it gets reported.
the thing Rishi said, I think, on this station the other day about he didn't want to win if it meant such and such, basically saying losing is the new winning. He was basically, it was
Very good.
It's like a David Brent type player. I mean, he seems
But
really desperate.
I think this is him softening the blow.
Yes.
Saying, I stood by my principles, and therefore that's why I lost.
Yes, he's preparing the ground, isn't he, for the inevitable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But let's see. Julian, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you. Coming up after the break, we'll be going through all the sports headlines. I shall be joined by Mr. Tom Clayton as usual. This is TalkTV.